What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. Another pre-market analysis. And what today? It was today. So yeah, let's continue. Let's take a look at what we can expect for tomorrow and if there's any big shifts in the market after today's event. Yesterday I didn't manage to do the stream. I had an appointment in the evening, so I had to skip the stream, but we are back today. So let's take a look. It's already half of the week, basically the end of September. Basically 3 months left. 3 months from now it's going to be Christmas, so no one's going to be trading during Christmas period. So yeah, we have 3 months left until the end of the year, right? And we're going to have still plenty of volatility, plenty of catalysts to affect the market, in particular, of course, the US election. Today, in terms of news, there was a quiet day today, to be honest. Yesterday it was slightly busier with the consumer confidence below 100, so there's a problem in there. Bank of Australia remaining with the same interest rate at 4.35, so no changes in that aspect. And tomorrow we go into the Swiss National Bank, which we are expecting another 25 basis points rate cut. And then we go into the US data with the final GDP for Q2. So expecting a 3% in here. And then we're going to have unemployment claims. In my opinion, unemployment claims are going to be quite important until the end of the year, especially in a moment where the Fed decided to be so aggressive in terms of the rate cut. Unemployment are going to play a big role, because again, the Fed are projecting only a 4.4% increase into the unemployment. And if it's more than that, there's going to be an issue. So unemployment claims, that's going to be one of the first unemployment data that you're going to be receiving on a weekly basis to see if there's an increase or not. If it stays within this range, 220 to 130, nothing to worry about, because that's where we've been on average since the beginning of the year, basically. Then we also have durable goods, so that's going to be interesting as well, if the increases or not in terms of and how good the economy is reacting towards there. And they're going to have also Fetcher Powell testifying, or not testifying, but speaking in a conference, I believe, in New York. So yeah, 1 week after his press conference and the cut, let's see if he remains with this dovish approach or not, right? So that's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. You have also Christine Lagarde, but she's speaking in Frankfurt. So yeah, a few Fed members, including the Fetcher Powell, Christine Lagarde as well, and then a few other Fed members are going to be sharing their own opinion. So yeah, expect volatility tomorrow in the afternoon with so many Fed members sharing their thoughts after this rate cut of 50 basis points from the Fed. Now, looking at the market and what today, like, so today we're looking for longs on the dollar, in particular sells on the pound, Aussie, and then the euro as well after taking the high. So we've been waiting for that euro to take the high. Interesting enough, dollar index still respected the low. Okay, so dollar index still managed to respect the low. In terms of turning completely bullish in here, initially we mentioned that we're looking for initial breaking here, but the key level is definitely this one, right? It's the break above this high. That's where the key clue for a potential turn on the dollar is going to occur. Until then, it's going to be perhaps just some reaction until we eventually go properly to the upside. Interesting enough, we now have a clear double bottom on the dollar index, which is going to be very interesting if the dollar index will have the intention to eventually fake out this double bottom into something a little bit more in here. All right, so that's going to be interesting, or if price will keep respecting these lows. Now, today, after that the lows created, price came back straight away into it, so it already even created in the intraday session, in the more time frame, it already created a new double bottom in here, basically the last zone that was fresh in there, so those lows never reacted from it. That's basically the moment that you had the push to the upside on the dollar. It was the moment also when you had the reversal and the fake out of the highs on the euro dollar, and then the strong push to the downside Like, so today was one of those days that we were looking for this type of a move. We had pound dollar, Aussie dollars, many of the dollar pairs compressing for a few days, compressing to the upside while the dollar index was compressing to the downside. So eventually we are going to have a day where we're going to have literally the turn without much fighting from the opposite. Like in this case, the sellers were moving to the downside in this compression, and when the buyers eventually turn, there's no more sellers in here, and the dollar is free to basically move to the other extreme, being that extreme this high in here, like basically at the extreme of this range. And that move is done. And now again, question mark is, are we going to now continue and push to the upside and eventually break these highs and eventually break that high as well, or price is going to find now within this level of support of supply and eventually resistance, is price going to find something in here and push price down again? Like, so one of the situations that happens when you do have a clean move like this to the upside is that we don't really create any relevant demand zones on the way. Like, it's not that price is basically moving and creating maybe some demands along the way. No, it's basically literally just a move to the upside like this. Now, you may have a little bit of this level, and the one that I still like as well is around this structure in here, which is a level that price respected in the past, like how this line in here at around 100.5. This level has been respected in the past, and we do have this decision point that was created in here for price to break this high. So that can be potentially a good level to see a dollar index to go and react from. All right, so that's interesting, especially if you do start breaking above the highs again. Like, maybe you can have one last push in here and then moving to the upside again. Tomorrow, I do believe that's going to be quite a busy day. We have GDP, we have unemployment claims, and you have Pedro also speaking, and then in the evening, kind of later on in the afternoon, we have many other Fed members speaking as well. So it's going to be interesting. I do expect some volatility in here on the dollar index tomorrow, especially in the afternoon during the US session. So yeah, that's basically done in here at this point. Yes, the lows are holding, price respected at level, and maybe we can have a push more to the upside. And again, one of the targets is around this level. All right, so it's for price to eventually go all the way and fill this range into this level in there. So that's what we have in here on the dollar index. The indices, right? The indices are quite interesting as well. So S&P continues to slightly break new all-time highs. Not sure if it broke today as well or not. Yeah, it broke a little bit more and then comes back into it again. So basically, we are within this phase of compression at this point on the S&P. Yes, we are breaking new all-time highs. Yes, it's still bullish, but as you can see, it starts to show quite a lot of weakness. We have a break of a low in there. We have new lows being created here and a new break of a low in there. Right? So again, this is basically, if you guys watch the video that I made about how to trade all-time highs, we went from that phase of momentum right now into this phase of starting to slow down, starting to show some weakness within this compression zone, and eventually by starting to break actually some lows in here, we start to see the sellers gaining some control in here. And with that, what that means is that we may be getting closer to a potential turn. Okay, it doesn't mean that price will just turn like this, but maybe you can go all the way. And you do have this structure in here. Perhaps we do have something in here first that price can go basically to fill out this space within this compression, maybe some reaction from here, and perhaps moving to the upside again. We'll see. Otherwise, you start having all this move in here. Right, so we're starting to get closer to that level. Does it mean that the high is already in place? Nope, it doesn't mean that. We may still have one last fake out in here before a proper move to downside, but we start definitely noticing some lows being broken in here on the S&P. And what we have been talking about in regards to the indices is that we are waiting actually for NASDAQ, which has been the indices, US indices that has been lagging, comparing with the S&P, Dow, and so on. So NASDAQ is lagging. For example, NASDAQ hasn't really broken any new all-time highs since the high created in July or August, if not mistaken, while S&P and Dow have been creating new all-time highs now recently, every day or every week in here. So yes, NASDAQ is lagging, and NASDAQ is now finally taking this high. So we have been waiting We have been waiting for Nasdaq to break this structure. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. How are you? I'm not going to risk to pronounce your name. Brijamoan. Brijamoan. I hope I pronounced it correctly, man. Apologies if I didn't say it correctly. All good? Call me Bridge. Okay, Bridge is easier. Much easier, thank you. What are you trading? What are you looking for? Yeah, so we are looking in here on the indices, and in my opinion, I think the indices are waiting for Nasdaq to approach this level in here before looking for new sells. All right, so that's what I've been waiting for price to go above these highs. We are now getting closer to that, so we finally broke those highs and start seeing sells coming in. And we also can see the weakness on the S&P and the Dow. All right, so it's starting to show a lot of weakness by creating this compression. And I'm curious to see whenever Nasdaq gets a little bit closer into this next structure, we may have a new new pressure from the sellers. Basically the sellers starting to jump into the market again. Now we are not going to jump into that conclusion straight away. We definitely need to see some lows being broken. Like, so this was a potential scenario that I was looking for, eventually for price to continue this compression and go with respect to that demand zone, basically with respect to that low. We do have a little bit of this price in here, price just respect to that upper edge in there. So eventually at least some turn like this we can expect. Now I still want to see it even going a little bit more to the upside. The high in here is starting to be okay. If you actually look in detail where price was, let me just now delete this one. I don't need this anymore in here. So let's just actually grab the line in there and let's take a look into where price reacted in here. Yeah, price, yeah, it's not a bad level. This is the power of actually looking into the war time frame, because maybe on the 4-hour time frame you think that the next level is just this support resistance in here, but when you start looking into the war time frame and the way price actually moved away from this level, this is where if price moved away from this level, for example, in compression and respecting or taking the orders from the previous supply in there, then you're going to be looking maybe the supply or the real level that you want to look for is slightly below this level. All right, so instead of being in here, is now in here. All right, so that's a little bit of the power of looking into the war time frame. When you're seeing price breaking away from a key level of structure, you need to pay attention to that. Otherwise, you may miss the opportunity of the reaction from here, and you are expecting just price to react from here and move to the downside. And maybe when price now actually approaches this level, it just goes up without any level, or basically without any resistance from the sellers. So yes, it's not about the level where price is reacting, but we do still have the other one in there as well, and maybe a little bit above as well. So looking at the approach and what's going on today, right? So yep, we do have this level in here. Basically price may have taken it a little bit, cutting a little bit in this compression. Price respect to the upper edge in here, we still have this zone underneath in there as well, at price respect to that low, and that zone in there, and then the next one need to be in here. So those are just some immediate levels that you can look for eventually on Nasdaq when price turns. But again, as I mentioned, I would like to see it going slightly higher still before making that move to the downside, and that's how I'm going to continue to be positioned myself on Nasdaq. I'm just keeping staying patient. If you start breaking properly, for example, this low in here, then we may start having a different conversation, and maybe the high is going to be in place, and all of a sudden you may start looking for something like this to trade around this structure to look for that sell. I used to trade. You are not trading anymore. What assets did you used to trade? Yeah, so that's my take on the S&P, on the indices actually, and I do believe that they are waiting for Nasdaq. If by any chance Nasdaq just continues to move to the upside, then just let it go. Like, just let it go, and eventually there is still that extreme that maybe price can still react from, or maybe some structure in here. But if it just continues, one situation to be just continues and continues to, continues to break new highs and respecting the lows. So I'm not going to really be fighting that either, okay? I'm just going to be creating some kind of trend line like this, and I'm not going to be really fighting it. But I'm really aware or curious to see how price may react from this level, and you may have that turn in here. used to trade Forex? Anything in particular, like euro dollar, pound dollar, or the yen pairs? Like, and why did you stop trading? That's actually a better question. What was the reason for you to stop trading? And are you trying to come back to it, or is just what's the plan now? That's actually interesting, like for someone to actually admit that used to trade and it's not trading anymore. That's interesting. Not many people kind of admit that or are transparent in that aspect. Yeah, Nasdaq. All right, let's continue. That's basically the take on Nasdaq. All right. Oh, okay, got it. So it's just a pause. Okay, got it. Yeah, so you press the pause button on trading, and then you'll be back again. But are you doing anything in particular? Like, are you just following the market to try to stay up to date, or literally you skip trading, or even just analyzing the market completely? Yeah, a lot. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Hey, do you used to trade ICT? Yeah. Okay. I've never really studied ICT, to be honest, so I'm like, we may look at markets quite similar. I have no idea. I never really studied ICT, so I don't really know. No, of course, I know who is. It would be impossible for me not to know who the guy is, but yeah, I never really traded ICT. Yeah, definitely market is a bad teacher, that's for sure. Now Dow. Yep, so Dow has already started to show even more weakness. So again, the compression was in here today, kind of moving to downside. We are or can trade within this range in here, so that's something that I'll be curious. But I'm not really looking to trade the Dow just yet in here. Again, the indices that I'm more focused on at this point is just looking at Nasdaq. Because Nasdaq is still not at all-time highs, and when you're trading at all-time highs, it's a bit tricky. But nice to see that starting to see some weakness in here on the indices. And then we have also DAX. DAX broke slightly, unless I marked this incorrectly. Yeah, it did manage to break that low, so that's something to pay attention to. It's respecting those, that double top in there after taking the highs. Basically, it filled the target straight away, so that's one of the situations in here. So we managed to fake out the high, but it fills immediately the spice within this level, which means that there's maybe, yeah, we'll see. If price had broken by any chance these lows, I'll turn a bit more bearish, expecting price to move further down. But because price actually respected this structure in here, yeah, I need to be a bit more cautious in terms of looking for sales. We may actually break one more time the highs before looking for another turn. But at the highs, there's maybe still some levels in here that price can bounce from. We do have that level, maybe within this level, if we look into the lower time frame, there's maybe something in there. So with a good approach, maybe you can have an opportunity to look for a sell. I do like this break, so at least this break may take us back into this structure, so that's something to bear in mind. And I like that price starts to range a little bit in the middle, because more people are going to be attracted to sell somewhere in here, which means that then you can maybe use this level in here to look for another sell. Right, so I do like the approach a little bit within this structure as well. So yes, I'm going to be paying attention to see how price may react from here, because we do have this engulf to the downside in here from these lows. Yeah, so that's something that I want to look for. Yeah, Rich, what was the your main struggle at this point when you're trading, and for how long have you been trading until you kind of pause now? Like 1 year, 6 months, 2 years? And what was the biggest struggle that you were facing? All right, moving along in here. Where are you going? Crypto. All right, crypto. Today we had a little bit of a move to downside. Apparently, Bitcoin continues to respect those highs in there. Yeah, finding some level of resistance around this 65k. Again, we are still within this range, so that's something that we're also looking for. Let's see which direction price will break first, either to downside or to the upside. So that's something to pay attention. Ethereum also coming back down, kind of looking for that level for price to react from, and now coming into this structure in here. So that's something also to look at. Again, I'm not really trading crypto at this point, just tracking it to see if there's anything standing out as an opportunity eventually. But yeah, nothing at this point in here that I'm interested. The yen index. All right, actually let's start with the euro index first, because the euro index respected those lows, moved to the upside, and today we actually had quite a big sell off, especially in the afternoon. Initially we had a strong move up on the euro. We saw euro pound, we saw euro hours as well, even euro dollar a little bit, and then in the afternoon you had a little bit of a push to the downside in here. So yeah, let's see. Again, we'll see which direction we want to go. We broke these highs, maybe he wants to go higher. Personally, I still like the idea of price actually eventually breaking out these lows and getting into this level, so maybe a bit more weakness on the euro pairs. But this euro index at this point is not just, how do I say this, euro is not the one in control of the market at this point. So for example, today it was a dollar. The yen pairs have been super correlated by themselves, kind of they're basically mimic and repeating the same behaviors across all the yen pairs, which is basically a little bit more of not so much correlation within the euro pairs in here. So we'll see. It's not exactly something to use at this point. Yeah, the yen pairs, it's quite different. And we have the yen index, and this is a level that we've been waiting for. Right, so we mentioned that we're looking for price to react around this level in here. Initially reacted, that was yesterday, and today went a little bit more into the extreme of the demand zone. Like, what else is missing in here is that we are missing that break of a high again. Like, we had this initial break of structure, but price basically just respected this next structure in there, continued to move to downside, and at this point is missing that next break to the upside in here. Again, it's compressing, so price is starting to show some weakness as we are getting closer and closer to these lows in here, which is basically to fill out this range that we have. All right, that was basically the target as soon as we start breaking actually this level, because already I have this low being broken, already I have that one is already collected in here. This was a little bit fresh, but in meanwhile it's already in the middle of nothing. And yeah, this was the first target, and then you have the other one in there. But it would be nice actually if price could start showing some strength from here. All right, for example, it could do something like that, go higher, maybe break some of these highs or even break that high, and then come back all the way back again, and now use this level to potentially look for another long, and then eventually use all these lows that could be created in here as liquidity for price actually to turn from this level. That would be a little bit more of the approach that I would like to see, instead of just seeing price kind of going down like that. Because otherwise, yeah, it's still a good level in there. Now, price did respect the size in here, so we'll see if we're not going to actually eventually break out these lows as well. So that's something to bear in mind, right? Because we do have a double top in here at this point. Yes, dollar yen, the yen index, as we continue to have this compression, what this does is that we are going to have opportunities to look for longs or sells within the trading session at this point when you are like this. Like, that's what this compression move creates in here, and that's what you basically have on the yen pairs recently. Like, there are opportunities to look for longs and for shorts at this point. What we need to be aware of is the expectation of the targets at this point. Like, if by any chance we are looking for any big reversal in here, expecting price to go to the moon, maybe that's not yet the moment to look for. Like, even price starts moving in here, we have this level that price can respect, and you have that level as well that price can still respect. And even if it breaks that level, we can even have a one more last retracement before eventually price actually goes all the way. So again, this is just in terms of managing the expectations of the targets at this point. Yeah, let it continue to move until we have a proper break of something in here. The tendency can be to continue to look for a move to the downside in here, and all of a sudden price is reacting from that level that's basically taken. We are looking for price, yeah, basically to get closer to that zone in here. Let me just read your comment. So you are out for 6 months now. This was the best time. So you learn a lot of things. The main lesson was patient. Back then I used to look at charts 24/7, but now after spending some time outside, I think it will definitely help a lot in psychology. That's a really good take. Like, that's a really good point, what you mentioned. And I just want you to be aware of something in regard to this moment, right? Because sometimes pausing from the market, it has that benefit, right? Because before you were completely obsessed, maybe you were over trading, maybe you were not being able to be disciplined like you would like to be. And having this break from your trading, it brings some perspective. Maybe you start answering some questions of maybe what type of a trader do you want to become, what kind of style. Is it more kind of intraday, more scalping, maybe a bit more of a swing trader where you don't really spend so much time in front of the charts. However, and this is actually a point that recently I had with a guy that I'm mentoring, with a trader that I'm also mentoring. He was kind of in a similar kind of situation. Didn't really pause for 6 months, but he kind of took 1 or 2 weeks during holidays from trading. And one of these issues was also a little bit of patience, right? And something that he also kind of felt the same thing that you are saying, which is that he felt that now he was feeling more calm, more relaxed, looking at the charts a little bit differently, or kind of more in control of himself. However, something that I told him, and then he actually recently told me that that was correct, is that it's easier to start feeling like that when you are literally outside and you are not being exposed to the market movement, and again, being actively trading, being exposed to make money or lose money. It's easier, right? And you think that now after the pause, you are going to start trading, and you are going to behave the same way that now you are feeling. More relaxed, more patient, without those good characteristics. But that may not be the reality, okay? Just to have that perspective in mind. It's good that you are becoming more self-aware, and this is actually something that I told him. You are more self-aware at this point of maybe how do you want to behave in terms of some maybe discipline exercises that you are doing, which is perfect. But you're not going to just become, all of a sudden, when you start trading again, become that patient person and disciplined and everything. There's going to be a period of transition that you need to adapt from where you are right now and from who you were, right? And you need to turn that who you were into who do you want to be, if you understand what I mean, right? So that's an important point in here, so you don't feel frustrated again when you restart trading, whenever you're going to be trading again, because we are going to continue to do the same mistakes, right? It's hard to just kind of stop bad habits without being exposed to those environments where the bad habits happen. Right, so just to bear in mind. But if you continue to do the work, maybe that you have been doing recently, I don't know, meditation, reading some books, whatever it may be, of being more self-aware and conscious of the situations, then maybe it's going to be easier for you to become that person that you want to be in front of the charts and when you are actively trading. Right, so just bear in mind, because yes, having pauses from trading every now and then, especially if it's holidays period, it's great. You put your subconscious mind kind of working by itself, like maybe reviewing some trades, trying to become more calm, or whatever it may be. But when you come back into action, yeah, just be aware that those demons are still there, and you need to work to overcome them. Yeah, but it's good. It's good to have that perspective. All right, yeah, text me. But that was, again, it was quite funny that I literally had that conversation maybe a month ago with one of the guys that I'm mentoring, and when he came back to the market, it went back straight, kind of a little bit to over trading, and then he remembered the conversation that we had, like, yeah, no, actually Pedro told me that maybe I'll go back a little bit my bad habits, like, but the most important part is the awareness. Like, is the earlier you start to become aware of those situations, the easier then is for you to kind of overcome them, not to improve them in here, which is always the first step. All right, this is yen index. All right, let's take a look into individual currency pairs. All right, euro dollar. This was the trade, right? This was the move of today's session. Initially, I was actually more biased to short the euro, the pound dollar. In my opinion, it was already at a better level. Euro still had to create all this PA to fake out the high, and it finally did. Right? It finally did. It was one of the euro, kind of the dollar pairs that took the longest to actually fake out this high. Pound, Aussie, and everything else had already faked out this specific high back in August for kind of a few days ago. The level on the left side, you are still respecting this high in here. It was a good level still, okay, where price reacted. It's still a valid zone in here. I think price before reacted from here, and now it reacted from that level. So it's still a valid level, definitely, where price reacted, and then eventually could even go higher if price wants to do so. In here, this was a complete manipulation, right? This was, yeah, many people got faked out in here, especially after noticing these lows being broken in the morning. So that was, it was needed a lot of patience in here, because we're already looking at the pound dollar moving to downside, but the euro was kind of fighting a little bit, then eventually break these lows. Many people may have jumped into sells in here. All of a sudden you have the first spike up, all right, with the news, and then kind of price still holding here, and then you finally had the PI to move to downside, all right. But this was one of the first clues to look for the sell, to be honest. But with so many highs in here, yeah, just waiting to be kind of for that fake out to happen. That's the best scenario. Sometimes it just goes, and in that case I'll miss the opportunity, I'll miss the trade. But when the fake out happens, then yes, then it's time to go in and to actually look for the entry in there. And there was definitely an entry in here. We have that initial break of a low in there, and then price kind of within this level, it provided many opportunities to trade. And you have all this range. All of a sudden you have all this range to fill. Price was compressing. That was what I said the other at the beginning, that the dollar index was compressing quite a lot for the last few days. In this case, euro dollar is compressing to the upside, pound dollar is compressing to the upside as well, Aussie dollar to the upside, and eventually when price is compressing to the upside, eventually we are going to have a day like this, where there is no more buyers in here, and price is just free to completely sell off all the way through. Where to? Yeah, this is next level, and you have, this is the first demand zone that is still fresh in here, and then eventually can even go further down. So at this point on the euro dollar, similar to the dollar index, we'll see what's going to happen whenever price comes back into this level, and you'll see if you do manage to continue to move to downside and break some lows in here. So that's something to bear in mind in here. Paying attention also that this low is already been broken as well, so eventually you can even target this low in here. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of PA eventually can have some retracement in here, and maybe tomorrow morning around the London session we'll see if we are back at this level, or we're going to actually just continue to move down and maybe are somewhere in here. So yeah, that was the move, and now I'm just waiting again for price to go back into here to potentially look for another continuation. Pound, unfortunately it was overnight that the move happened. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Again, a lot of compression. Price was finally approaching the level that we've been looking for as well in here. What am I saying? Okay. Yeah, so it was approaching this level. That was something that we were looking for. 1 second, where are we? All right, so we are here. Yeah, it reacted perfectly from this supply level, right? There were two levels that I was looking for price fake out this high and react from something still in here, or then my favorite, it would be even for price to take these highs and get into the next level, right? And that's still open. That scenario is still valid as well in here. But what we had also in here is that we had this break first. Like, and that was actually what activated my my bearish signs for today's session. So yesterday we started having a break of a lows. We have also another break of a low in here. We had a strong compression in here, and there you go. Like today it was just a turn. We even managed to break that low as well. I was waiting for price to go just slightly higher in here. Price just paused in there. I was looking for another move like this. So I missed this move in here on the pound dollar, unfortunately, but this was perfect as well. This was a great move in here to the downside. In addition to the pound dollar, another big clue was the euro pound, that we also mentioned that it was quite bearish, and now it finally turned, or at least at this initial first bullish momentum after reacting from one of the demand zones that we were looking for. All right, so that's exactly what we're looking for. So we're looking for two levels. One was around this level, and the other one, it will be in here. So euro pound, it reacted from this level in here after taking all these lows, right? So basically it made all this move down, right? Took this low, took something else in there, and now that initial reaction from that demand zone, and then you have another one slightly underneath. So it's reacting from the first one. Natural target to look for, yes, natural target initially just to retest of the previous low that was taken. So the retesting of this level, and price actually pausing there until eventually go to the upside. The next target, just simple as that. Just look for the next structure that's kind of a high probability target that you can look for. As you can see, initially reacted from this level, but then it respected this low in here. That was actually another one that I was looking for price to fake out a little bit more before I move up, but then actually the turn happened as well, kind of overnight or something like that. So I didn't really trade this one, but it's good to see. I'm still expecting price to move to downside again. I don't really expect euro pound to just turn like this. I'm expecting now a little bit more of a compression before we may have a bigger turn on the euro pound, and that's what I'm going to be following. Maybe there's a continuation setup in here to look for, eventually for price to continue to move down, but I'm going to be looking for price to create some kind of PA around this level before a move to the upside. Maybe that can be also quite reasonable. We even have these left shoulders in there as well, so that's something to bear in mind in here. And maybe that's also the moment that we have also pound dollar proper return, because there's still more room to the upside on pound dollar as well, to be honest. In here, yeah, now, yeah, we'll see, right? We'll see, because euro pound, again, it's so tricky to trade euro pound. You can spend many weeks in a row ranging until you eventually have the momentum, right? So, like, defining the right timing to trade euro pound, that's a skill by itself. In order to not be in a trade where price just range, but actually be in a trade where actually price moves, right? That's quite interesting. So yeah, if you do manage to catch those trades when price move, like, props to you, and that's yeah, that's a skill by itself in terms of timing. Yeah, all right. Let me just add you. Boom, boom, boom. Where is it? Where are you? Yeah, I don't see your friend request though. Yeah, I don't see your friend request. Yeah, I cannot see a friend request. Oh, can you get around place? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, I can just... Yeah, that's my ID. I don't know if you used the correct ID, but I could not see any friend request. Yeah, so yeah, euro pound, pound dollar. Again, just looking for potential continuation in here. I think there's more room now, a little bit to the downside. We may even go all the way until here. So that's a potential massive trade that we have. As you can see, we start breaking some lows in here. It's going to be curious to see price, if breaking this level, it starts opening door literally to go further down. Something that already happened in here on the pound dollar that didn't happen on euro dollar is that we already had a retracement and now continuation, so we don't really need another retracement in here, even though, as I mentioned, there's maybe a little bit of a fresh orders left behind in there. If price does want to fake out still this high and then move down to the downside, so that's something to bear in mind. On the other side, yeah, something in here or in there as a continuation in here. So yeah, but again, the turn happened this morning, and that's basically that's one of my A+ setups that I'm looking for. I literally want to see a lot of weakness. I look for weakness in the market. That's basically what I look for. We're also looking at the daily time frame. You see that pound dollar has been making a lot of moves. I've been quite bullish recently, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, and now we finally have the turn. In addition to that, we had a really strong move up in here. So yep, that was perfect. That's done, and we'll see if there's more room to downside. But the first opportunity, my favorite type of entry, that's already gone. Aussie, same way, like exactly the same thing. So we managed to take the highs from a long time ago all right, from summer last year, if not mistaken. Yep, it's from June 2023, perfectly into this supply level. That was a really good reaction. Unfortunately, again, it was overnight. Like it was like 1 a.m. in the morning. Then you had an CPI in Aussie as well, which just managed to make another leg down. And we had all this target, like all this space to fill. Like that's another big aspect that we look at. Is I actually started with the target. Like I want to see a target before I look for a trade. And we had a strong compression yesterday, really strong momentum to the upside. We broke this low. We never even retested that level. So it was just going up, and now we're looking for a turn. But it matters as well where price is at the moment, and price which we just fake out that level. So it was perfect move in here. Again, Aussie dollar has been compressing quite a lot, which again created all this potential turn in here. Unfortunately, price didn't really kind of come back closer to the extreme. Again, I do like to trade closer to the highs. I struggle a little bit with these trend continuation setups when price is in the middle. Yeah, I'm not really the best trader to do this. I'm always worried that price may do that final spike and move down instead of just keep respecting this level in here, because otherwise this could have been a great trade. In here, fake out that level, the size, we broke the low, somewhere at break after this structure would have been a great trade in there. Yeah, that's not exactly my type of entry. Yeah, Aussie, we'll see how price may react around these structures. In there we have also Euro Aussie moving to the upside. Yeah, so just let it continue. Again, we got really close to that extreme in here. So yeah, we're looking even for price to go further down, but we'll see how price may react from here now. But that's something to bear in mind. Pound Aussie, kind of nothing much going on in there. We have New Zealand as well. New Zealand was perfect, reacting from the highs. Again, it was overnight. Where is New Zealand in here? Yeah, New Zealand as well, reacting from this from supply in there at the highs after again a strong push up. That's exactly what you want to look for. And then we had this strong compression. Like this compression is beautiful. We have a strong push up and then a compression like this. This is the opening, so I kind of ignored that candle, but we did manage to break this structure in here. Yeah, and then you just have the turn when again at 2-3 a.m. in the morning. Like honestly, sometimes it's I almost consider if it's not worth to trade the Asian session, because many turns they tend to happen around 2 a.m. or 2 or 4 a.m. in the morning, which is yeah, which is quite interesting in here. But there you go, just feel it's back into the demand zone that basically made all that move up. So clean move in and out in a day, perfect. That was really good as well. And now looking at the Aussie, not Aussie, the yen pairs. Aussie yen. Yeah, I still don't see. I don't know if you have tried to add me or not, but I still don't see your friend request. Aussie yen. Yeah, Aussie yen is approaching the high again. Right? Again, I'm not the biggest fan where price pausing here. Again, I think that was the reason why I didn't really look for the longs in there. But you are getting closer to here. Price can even still go slightly higher. I do like the compression as well. Like we broke this low in here, and I like the compression. Again, price now is retesting or respecting this demand zone in here. Bear in mind that maybe the Aussie yen only is going to properly turn when the yen index is also ready to turn, right? But now we need to bear in mind that we have seen Aussie, Euro, and pound, for example, quite bearish today, and that's why I kind of had a little bit more of a move to downside, while dollar yen is actually moving upwards. So that's a little bit of the first separation between the yen pairs, to be honest, from the last few weeks. But yeah, I'm curious to see how price may react from here. Otherwise, looking for price to go even higher, because I do see the possibility of price breaking above this high. We broke above this structure, price went down, reacted from some structure in here, and we could have a continuation to the upside in here. So again, this is just something to keep tracking with the yen index. That value is still good as well. There you go. Prices fill this initial range. We need to break below this low to start opening door to go further down, and then we eventually can go below this level, since price already broke that level, even though we still have this demand zone in here. Yeah, so that's something to bear in mind. Yeah, prices react expecting that level. All right, so that's one to just to keep an eye on as well. Then we have, there you go, dollar yen. Dollar yen breaking highs, initial reaction from here. So we had an initial turn. Price just must have respected something in here in the middle, and apparently it just turned completely right now. Right, so yeah, maybe this level was important. I didn't give that much importance to this level. I thought price would just now continue to go slightly towards this level. This was a really nice turn as well. This happened yesterday, and apparently today price is just moving to the upside again. The strong dollar helping the dollar yen also moving to the upside, and I'm curious to see how price may react from every bit of this structure, right? So we are getting closer to this level. Initial reaction from here where price is right now, and eventually towards that level. So we'll see how price may react from here. Otherwise, we break inside this compression, and we are looking for price to get closer to the highs in there. So that's something to bear in mind in here on the dollar yen. So let it continue to go. Yeah, compressing, respecting the structure now. There's maybe more room to the upside in here. But definitely a pair to keep an eye on, in addition with the yen index, which most likely is moving to the downside and eventually breaking those lows as well. Dollar euro yen also moving to the upside, so getting closer to this high, and eventually can even get closer to that level as well. But you are compressing, but still respecting, right? So price has been respecting the lows. So in this case, there's not exactly a break of a low on the euro yen. So yep, don't fight it, just let it continue. What I mentioned before as well is that when you do have these compressions, we do have opportunities either to sell or to buy. Like so, within the daily session, there's opportunities to short it and then eventually to go long again. Like maybe there was a short in there, maybe there's a long in here. As you can see, there's enough movement that if you zoom into the lower time frame, that maybe you could look for those opportunities. And that doesn't mean, again, that price will just completely turn eventually, right? So manage your expectations accordingly. This level in here can definitely still hold price. Price has been respecting this trend line as well, and eventually that's maybe the next level that you're looking for. Nice reaction from that supply, but maybe that's the next one. And if price does want to go higher, then you're looking for price to go a little bit more towards that level in there. So yeah, just let it run. Maybe there's a little bit of a reaction here, to be honest. This I didn't react from it. We'll see. All right. Pound yen, same story, right? So pound yen is respecting this level, then price respected perfectly these lows again. So I'm looking, what I mentioned before about the Aussie yen, I'm looking for price to break these highs in here and to get closer to something in there. So that's something to bear in mind in here on the Aussie yen, sorry, in the pound yen, looking for price to break. Again, pound by itself has been quite strong. Maybe that's why pound yen is already kind of getting closer to that level. But there you go, right? So as you continue to see yen index breaking the lows, most likely you're going to continue to see pound yen continue to go higher. Again, you have this double top at these highs. Yes, most likely you're going to have some break into the next level in there. So I'm not going to be looking for sales at this point in here on the pound yen, at least not yet. I don't even like all these touches in there, to be honest. Yeah, CAD, there you go, right? So we have been bearish on the CAD. So we talked about this level. We mentioned that all this was basically compressed, and price broke into that compression, right? Now it was initial reaction perfectly from that demand zone. That was fresh. We had that initial move in here. We started to create that pattern. We broke to the downside, we fake out the highs, and then it just continued. Like it was missing still that touch. Maybe that's eventually where price wants to go. And now we broke a new low in here where we broke actually that low as well. So eventually looking for the dollar CAD to continue to move to the downside, but we can definitely have some retracements along the way. All right, so don't be surprised if you do that. Maybe somewhere in here, or again, this structure in here again, basically in here, or in there. Three levels that I could see dollar CAD eventually reacting from. This was already kind of reacted a little bit. Yeah, now interesting move again with this move to the upside on the dollar CAD kind of following the same path in here. But yeah, I think there's still more room to downside regardless. It's just again, price can trade whatever way it wants within this range in here. Something to keep in mind. EuroCAD, most likely is continuing. So again, this is another one that we are bearish. That was the engulf to the downside in the bigger picture. Price retraced all the way, respected this level. Could even see that one as well, but to start to respect this level, when you create a lot of momentum to downside in here today, a little bit more of a move up, but again momentum, and they're looking for price at least to get closer to here. All right, at least to get closer to there. But eventually, price does continue to move to downside. That was the signal. Like, so again, I'm expecting sales from around this level to eventually break a new low and continue to push further down. So we'll see. At this point, is within this range. So we'll see what EuroCAD is going to do. They have nice turn from that level. Break low, fake out, and then go to the downside. So even managed to break below that structure as well. Eventually getting closer to here. I think that's the destination in here. On the EuroCAD, pound CAD also moving to downside, so still respecting those highs, and there you go, kind of we broke into this level, fill the space in here. Right, so filling the space in here, and this is already actually a break to downside, so eventually you can even go further down. To be honest, nice reaction initially from that extreme, goes respected level, and now challenging to go a little bit more downside. And if you continue to have a little bit more of a move to downside on the pound, a little bit, maybe this pound CAD can follow until that level. Yeah, but nice turn. Again, this was another one, strong move to the upside for a few days in a row, and now we have a little bit of a pressure to downside. Yeah, that's nice. So we'll see what's going to happen next. Yeah, I'm not really trading it. The trades were at the highs, not now, for me at least. Aussie CAD, that's another one that we've been looking, because it was actually at a great level in here. So that was another one. So if we count the highs, that was something that we were looking for. Just stop this one, and still respected the supply there. Again, price can even go higher a little bit, but this was another one. But we have basically the same type of pattern. I started breaking the lows, and we have fake out, and then price respecting that level, pushing to the downside. Like, that's basically the most beautiful reversal pattern that you can find. Around the highs as well. Good compression. This is something that you want to look at for as well. Strong compression here, and you start opening the door for price to go further down. Again, can even be a continuation in here as well. Now you have this reaction, potential that supply as well in here, and we may have now price turning in here on the Aussie CAD, like especially if the Aussie dollar starts to turn, that can follow. Yeah, price basically pausing there, and we'll see how this looks compressed to me. So price can eventually go further down a little bit. It's basically one of the last zones in here. So yeah, that looks nice. That was something that we've been looking for as well for the last week or so. Dollar franc Swiss, tomorrow is going to be interesting with the Swiss National Bank interest rate decision. Again, another 25 basis points. That's what you're expecting. This was the first engulf up. All right, so that's maybe what is giving us indication that price wants to go higher. Price came all the way down in here, respected the level, and then today basically went to downside as well, still respected, and now push higher. Price is respecting this low. All right. The interesting part is that this high also respected that high. Like, personally, I would have preferred to see an engulf to the upside in here, then retest to this low, and then continuation, right? But we did manage to respect that level as well, even though this one already broke that one in there. Any chance that price may wants to make a new leg down before moving to the upside? Maybe. And this is a tricky one. Difficult to look for anything in there. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not really trading it at this point. This spike in here, I didn't really see anything in there as well. I don't really like how far away kind of where the stop loss will need it to be. I'm not really trading it until I find something more relevant. We may break above it, may use this trend line as well. Basically, price has been respecting this trend line for a long time. And yes, price does respect trend lines as well. They are not just, well, that's maybe why many people also use it, but it needs to be in context. So yeah, starting to break above these highs and eventually above that level, it may open the door to go further up. So maybe I'm going to wait for actual price break above that level, create some kind of opportunity around this structure or even around the trend line, retest to look for the continuation. So that's maybe more of what I'll be looking for in here on the dollar franc Swiss. Gold, I'm not touching it. Okay, again, another leg to the upside. Nice reaction in there. Price starts to break slightly new lows. That's interesting, but yeah, I'm not touching gold at this point. It's where it ran. I don't really see still a proper weakness. We start to show some, the sellers are starting to show some presence, but yeah, it doesn't really mean anything just yet. This is eventually the range, but first we do have that level as well. Now silver made a really big move to the upside, like basically retesting these highs in here from May, and then we can even go higher, like literally retesting this 32 mark. Start breaking some lows again. This is the key level to still look for as a potential continuation on silver, and then eventually we can start looking left and we may go higher. My price is in here. This doesn't really mean anything to me, to be honest. Eventually we could carry on moving to the upside and maybe retest something in here, even take this high as well. Of course, price is not going to be just in a straight line to go to 38 mark, but we may have yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can even have a deeper retest one more time before another continuation. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how silver is going to behave in here. Looking more at silver at this point because it's not at all-time high, so maybe there's a better opportunities to look in terms of price action or using price action from the left side. But yeah, this level definitely looks nice and interesting when price eventually fakes out these highs in there. Yeah, so that's something to bear in mind. All right, do I have enough data? Yeah, we not have enough data. All right, so we'll see. And then oil. Oh, that was the mistrade yesterday. That was the mistrade. So we start having that PA, right? So price moved to downside. It took the orders from this demand zone. We pushed higher again, and it's still respecting within the structure. And there was a beautiful PA in here that I actually missed it. Yep, I was not aware of it. That was actually a really nice PA at around this level. And then price just made out the move to the downside. Today it reacted from here. That's nice. Again, as I mentioned, I don't really like to trade these mid-range moves. I prefer to see, again, I was waiting to see price just make one last spike in there and then move to downside. Never really did that, unfortunately. So it just moved. Again, there's still orders left behind in there whenever price wants to go there, and now we managed to go all the way, break these lows, and then even respected that level. So that's more of a continuation setup. Yeah, it's maybe something that I need to add into my own portfolio. I like to trade the heads of the levels, and then basically the left shoulders as long as it's still close to the heads. When price starts to move in between, yeah, I don't really like to do that. Yeah, so we'll see. But oil may go all the way, and maybe this is the next target, right? So maybe this is a bit of the bigger range that you are trading at this point. That price maybe go closer to this level, and then you can see or start looking for some longs in here, or at least some retrace, right, to the upside in there. Important level. This was basically the last high that created the low, and you have some fresh levels in here, and as price already respected the zone. Basically that week maybe already respected that level. Yeah, maybe in here. Yeah, that looks nice. Taking out these lows and then having a little bit of a reaction to the upside. That's exactly the next level on oil that I'm going to be looking for. Looking at Brent a little bit. Do we have also that structure or not? Compression, yes, something in here, right? Yeah, that's basically the same level. Actually, Brent already reacted from the demand zone. Yeah, so Brent reacted from here. Crude oil didn't, so it's still fresh on crude oil. Then you have the Quasimodo. Yeah, that's a different story in here, which means that maybe price can even go slightly further down. Again, price even managed to break below that wall. Like, so that's something also to bear in mind. But again, the PA itself is kind of similar. Right, it's quite similar in here. So we'll see again. Let it go slightly lower before looking for longs. That's what I want to see in there. And that's it. Yeah, long session today. Bridge, thank you for texting and messaging and talking with me today. I appreciate it. It's much funnier when you guys interact as well. Let me know if you got value from the video as well. basically what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow is, well, good question. Yesterday I was literally with the bias to, yesterday night into today's session, I literally wanted to see the sales on pound, euro, and so on. Now that move has happened, I'm going to wait for some potential retracement there. Nasdaq is one that I really want to continue to track, and maybe tomorrow with GDP and Fetcher Powell speaking, maybe we have the sales that I'm talking about. So that's definitely something that I want to track. I want to see price getting a little bit higher and then starting to look for the reversals as price approach that level of structure on the left. So that's one, definitely. The end pairs I'm going to continue to track, and if you continue to see more weakness on the yen index, eventually with good PI I may look for the turn. So that euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen maybe go slightly higher until we have the turn. So I like the compression that's going on, so eventually that's going to be one to look for on the end pairs. Yeah, oil, if it continues to move slightly lower, then maybe a retrace. Yeah, that's basically it. In terms of the dollar, it depends on what it wants to do. Does he want to retrace back to the lows? In this case, the euro to the highs? Then I'll be looking for the shorts. If not, I'll just let price move in here. So that's my focus for tomorrow session. Yeah, DAX as well. Maybe if it gets closer to the highs again, maybe there's an opportunity to look for another sell. Yeah, excited for tomorrow. That was amazing. Yeah, so let's see tomorrow. Thank you, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.